Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Hoover Maneuver channel. My name's Dean, and we're going to go over some more repair content today. Let's get to it. Okay, so what kind of repairs are we going to do? Well, some of you guys have been watching for a while. You know that when I was up in Coos Bay this last summer, I broke this axle. Now, what did I do to break that axle? Well, actually, I stripped that CV joint right there. And that would be this one. I don't have the strength to twist this, but basically this CV joint is stripped on the inside. When you go, this turns, that doesn't turn. Then, my last trip to Glamis, I broke this CV joint. That's a clue, it's broken. So, what I wanted to go through was kind of a more optimal way to get to the axles to get them done. So, let's get to that part. Okay, when I was in Coos Bay, the driver's side is the axle that I stripped the CV joint on. And coming from an X3, I just automatically remove the shock. And to remove the shock, I have smart shocks. I have to remove that sensor right there to be careful of that. And I just started taking things apart. And the idea was to swing out the trailing arm so that I could pull the axle out from under it and then pop it out. I kept taking more and more things apart. I finally got it out, but it seemed like I just took too many things apart. So this last trip I had pre-planned, and I went to my Can Am Maverick shop manual, and I printed out the pages for that. And so when I broke the axle on the passenger side, I was real smart, and I got my printed pages from the shop manual, and I started doing what they said. So what did they say to do? They said remove the shock, remove the tensioner, pull the bolt here. You see I have limit straps, so that creates another little dynamic. And then they said to pull this radius rod from here and basically just pull things out. So that didn't work the best either. So what I'm going to do here in the shop is I'm going to go through a process I think is going to save you guys some time, and it's the process I'm going to use next time on how to get the axle out and what pieces you have to take off. So let me get this wheel off and expose the parts here, and we'll move on. Okay, with the wheel off, you get a little better idea of what you can see what's going on here. So again, the manual wants you to pull the bottom of the shock, pull this sensor mount here. To pull this, you got to take the sway bar end link off because it's in the way of the bolt. Then they want you to pull this right here. To do that, you have to heat it up because it's on with some like yellow Loctite super duper stuff. And if you don't heat it up enough, you will break the captured nut back there. Yes, I did do that. And then the first go around, I took this one off, driver's side of course, but this is a tapered fit, and that kind of didn't work real well. So we're going to do it a different way. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this caliper, we're going to pull this rotor, which is kind of a unitized hub in behind there. All comes off together. I'm going to give you all the socket sizes you need and stuff. And we're going to pull this radius rod mount at the trailing arm. And we're going to pull the upper radius rod mount. And what that's going to let us do is going to let us to pivot the knuckle. That's pretty much what you need to do is be able to pivot the knuckle. This one would be more ideal to take off. But again, it's tapered, kind of like a ball joint, and it's kind of not pressed, but you know, it's driven in there. This one's not. So we're just going to pivot on this point right here, and that'll give us enough room to be able to pull the axle. So let me get into the parts list here that you're going to need, or the tool list, and we'll move on. Okay, so what are we going to need here? Up top here, you're going to need a 21 socket and 21 wrench. Same thing down here, 21 socket, 21 wrench. Your caliber bolts are right here. There's 2 of them. You need a 15 socket, and then your unitized bearing, there's 4. You're going to need an 18 socket. So I'm going to start to pull those. If for whatever reason you need to get into here, you're going to need a 21 on the bolt tip, and then the captured nut. If you don't heat it up enough and the captured nut breaks loose, there you're going to need this big old boy, 24 millimeter. All right, let's see if we can't set this up and get this pulled off. Okay, there was one more bolt I didn't tell you about. It's this one, but it is still, it's a 21 and a 21 nut on here. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to pivot here and pivot here and bring this out, and after we pull this, and be able to bring it out enough to pull the axle out. Let's see how that goes. Okay, and the last one we're going to pull out is right here. So the only thing that's going to be holding the knuckle on after this is going to be this one spot right here. So let's get this one out. Okay, so we got this pretty opened up now. You see how I pulled it out? So this one's debatable whether or not you can leave it in, but I think we got to take it out so it moves freely. So we're pulling all this stuff here, but these are the easy ones to pull. The inside, these are the harder ones to pull. The bottom of the shock is kind of a pain to pull. So now I've got this opened up, and I'll be able to lift the axle out of there and pop it out. Both times when I pulled the original axles, I had no issues whatsoever. They popped right out. Let's see how that does now. There it is. Pulled right out. All right, so this is like the third way that I've done it, because obviously I've done 2 axle replacements already. And I think this is kind of the best way. It's real easy. The key thing is having the right size sockets and wrenches and a heavy duty enough impact to take things off. So steer away from messing with these. Just deal with your pivot points out here. The caliper comes off real easy. Go ahead and take your upper radius arm off and just pivot that thing out. Leave this one untouched because it's kind of a tapered fit. That way you don't have to mess with it. And pull this down, axle pops out. You need to see me put it back together? I don't know, probably don't need to see that. Maybe I'll do a fast forward right here. Don't forget to grease your splines. Oh, and don't forget to follow manufacturer torque specs, use the proper Loctite, and all that good stuff. All right, so that would be 1, 2, 3. The third time I've changed that axle. I did do the responsible thing and ordered another new axle for standby. Anyway, I hope this video helps you. The third time was much easier than the first or second time. Just to reiterate, I did not touch these at all, so you don't have to worry about heating these things up or messing up the captured nuts. I did take off all the pivot points on the knuckle except for this one. So you got one here, one here, one here, and one down there. You got all those pivot points. Taking the unitized hub off is easy. Obviously take the caliper off before that. Then you can pivot everything out enough to get the axle out. And I have not had a frozen axle yet. So if this helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends if you like. We'll have some more content coming up. We got another new vehicle we're going to be checking out. I'm going to take it on as a maiden voyage today. You guys will see that soon enough. But car's doing great. The Evo Tune, the 35-inch sandblaster tires, things running awesome. Oh, how to break my axle. Just a review, Coos Bay, kind of a freak thing. I don't know really what led up to it, but I just kind of taking a wide berth there on a corner, following Corey, who leads a lot of rides up there. And the car just kind of skipped whenever I was on the throttle, and that seemed to have stripped the CV. Change that out. This last trip to Calamus, just going through the little dunes between the flats and Oldsmobile, and just kind of, the car just kind of did a hop and a hop and just shattered the cage inside the CV, as you saw from the rattle. I don't think that's what broke it though. The day before, I was running Oldsmobile pretty hard. For New Year's, Oldsmobile was really whooped out really bad, and being on the throttle with 35-inch tires with lots of traction and 350 horsepower, I think that kind of weakened it, and that was just the straw that broke the camel's back the next day in the little dunes. Overall, still very pleased with the car. It's doing very well. I haven't explored any aftermarket axles since what's breaking right now is a CV or stripping. RCV, maybe they're going to have some axles I don't know. You guys leave a comment who you think I should go with next go around. But the stocks are doing pretty well considering everything is I'm up against. So, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Oh, and don't forget to follow manufacturer torque specs, use the proper Loctite, and all that good stuff.